Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here. Today's video is extremely important, especially for those who are either investing in mutual funds or are wanting to invest in mutual funds. In today's video, we are going to understand answers to two key questions. Number one, how many mutual funds should you have in your portfolio? And number two, which mutual funds could be a part of your portfolio? But always remember that whenever you invest money, you invest it with some purpose. What could be the different purposes? Possibility number one, to meet certain emergencies for which we have an emergency fund. It could be an investment to fund a short term goal. Short term goal will be typically a goal which is within, let's say, a span of 1 to 3 years. Okay, so it could be, let's say, buying a laptop or whatever, which I have to buy within a span of 1 to 3 years. Then we'll have a medium term goal, which is typically 3 to 5 years time frame. Let's say I want to buy a two wheeler in next 3 to 5 years. That could be a part of your medium term goal. And a longer term goal is typically which I have to meet after 5 years, which could be, let's say, buying a four wheeler, buying a house, or whatever. Okay, now if I'm talking about short term goals, in such cases typically we would go ahead with a debt mutual fund. Okay, that's not going to be the focus point of our video today. Our focus point is going to be how to meet medium term and long term goals, and those should be met ideally with the help of equity mutual funds. Okay, but then you might be like, Rachna, what about those emergency funds? Ideally you should not park your money in mutual funds if you were to meet your emergencies. Okay, now typically I'll just give you a simple example, right? One of our family friends, in their case, what happened was there was a hospitalization that was required, and they had parked their money in liquid funds and overnight funds, which were ideally a part of their emergency funds. Now, the problem was that the hospitalization happened on a Saturday night. So, you can imagine that they had to wait to sell the mutual fund and to actually get the proceeds up until Monday. So, ideally, emergency funds should be such that you should be able to withdraw at any given point of time, be it even 12 midnight. So, I typically go ahead with investing emergency funds in maybe something like an FD or a saving account, ideally not in a mutual funds. So I hope emergency funds point is clear. So what is our focus point for today? How to meet medium term and long term mutual funds with the help of equity mutual funds. And for that, we need to answer the first question of today's video, which is how many mutual funds should you have in your portfolio? What if I told you that one weekend could make you noticeably smarter at work? This weekend, Outskill is hosting a free 2-day AI training that shows how AI is actually used in the real world. It's a live 16 hours program happening this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And though it's valued at 10,000, you will get it absolutely free because you are a part of our community. In this 16-hour live interactive training session, you will learn things like prompt engineering, no code data analysis, and a lot more. Plus, you will learn how to build your own personal AI toolkit using 10 plus cutting edge tools that are transforming industries, automate repetitive tasks, and analyze data without writing any code, develop AI agents and tools that give you a strong competitive edge. Over 1 lakh professionals from 40 plus countries, including those in tech, sales, marketing, HR, and business, have already joined this workshop. I'm getting my entire team to attend this, and you should too. Seats are filling fast. Use the link in the description to book your spot. Join the WhatsApp group for updates, and don't miss the 10 a.m. live session this Saturday. Now, before I answer the question as to how many mutual funds should you have in your portfolio, first let me ask my team members as to how many mutual funds do they have in their portfolio. Jesh, how many mutual funds?
I am loyal. I have only one mutual fund.
He is saying that he is loyal and that's why he has only one mutual fund. The true reason is that he is going to get married very soon, and that's why, just in case if his would-be wife is going to check out this video, then he's making himself extremely safe by stating that he is loyal, and that's why he has only one mutual fund. But Jay being loyal and one mutual fund, जास्ती था ना जरा इसके. Sachin, what about you? How many mutual funds you have?
50.
50? काय लोणचं घालणार आहे का काय त्याचं?
रातोरात करोडपती.
He's saying रातोरात करोडपती. Oh God, that it doesn't work in this way. First, we have to understand why even having just one mutual fund is bad and why having even 50 mutual funds is extremely bad. Okay, and then we'll come to what could be the optimum number. First, let's understand one mutual fund, one man, woman types, one mutual fund portfolio. Now, if I'm talking about an index fund as an example, okay, assume that Jayesh has got a Nifty 50 index mutual fund. What will happen? Let's say Nifty gave a 12% return. Is his mutual fund going to give way higher return than that? No. the returns will match. That's it. In fact, the mutual fund will have some expense ratio, this, that, so it will be shade lower than the Nifty 50 returns, right? So, is he going to generate alpha? Answer is absolutely no. But if I say that, okay, he has not invested in an index fund, assume that he has invested in, let's say, a thematic fund. There are some people, आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं, only one mutual fund and in a specific theme. I have seen many people who had invested way more in a defense sectoral fund, presuming that defense will always be in the upward direction. And you know what happened in the previous year? We saw a lot of defense funds which also have given negative returns over a few months. But yes, they did give negative returns. So if you ask me, having only one mutual fund in the portfolio, is it right or wrong? According to me, it's wrong. Okay, that's extremely less diverse. It's a total concentration in your portfolio. Wrong. Okay. Now, if I take the case of 50, is this also wrong? Yes. Why? There could be three reasons for it. Number one, would it be extremely difficult to track that mutual fund portfolio? Obviously, yes. I'm presuming that you all are working professionals. In that case, even if you're a homemaker or a retired person, that's not the only thing in your life, right? Tracking mutual fund portfolio. Will that consume a lot of your time? Yes. So having 50 mutual funds is going to come along with a lot of tracking difficulty or a tracking pain, I can say. So not suggested. Number two, if you also understand, acha, theek hai, you track the mutual funds, you understand that there's a lot of portfolio overlap. I will be like, what do we actually mean by portfolio overlap? Let me give you a simple example for that, okay? So I'm on thefundu.com. Here I'm going to the tools section and let me go to portfolio overlap. Now I have seen people who have invested in Nifty 50 index fund. Okay. Now let's say Nifty 50. These are just example. Okay. Aditya Birla Sun Life Nifty 50 index fund and one more Nifty 50 index fund. Okay. And let's say Nippon India. Achha, nahi, this is next 50. Wait. Nifty 50. ICICI Prudential Nifty 50 index fund as an example. Of course, we will see 100% portfolio overlap. So you may say that you have two different mutual funds, but actually the ingredients are exactly the same. It's like ordering a paneer butter masala and paneer tikka masala. It's just that the level of maybe the spices level may be a little bit different. So this is not the way to go ahead. Even if you're talking about something like a large cap, I'm sure, let's take an example of an Axis large cap. I'm sure that the portfolio overlap will be definitely higher than 50%. Let's check 66%, right? So if you are having extremely high number of mutual funds in your portfolio, the chances that portfolio overlap will exist, these chances are extremely high. Okay, now that you have understood that, okay, the portfolio overlap may be high, what would you want to do? Point number 3, rebalancing. That is going to be one more pain for you. Why? Because the moment you want to rebalance, you understand that having two Nifty 50 mutual funds doesn't make sense. So you would want to exit one, and whatever proceeds come, you would want to add up that to the first Nifty 50 mutual fund. Will that come with a pain of taxation? Answer is yes. Okay, so tracking is going to be a difficulty, fund overlap is going to be a problem, and of course rebalancing is also going to be a problem. So in that case, the big question is, how many mutual funds should you have? Ideally, if you ask me, you should have 5 to 7 mutual funds in your portfolio. Do I follow that? Yes. In my personal mutual fund portfolio also, there are only 5 to 7 mutual funds. Okay, what will be the advantage? Very easy advantages. Now, number one, will there be enough diversification? Yes. Will tracking be comparatively easy? Yes. Will we have a good asset allocation? Absolutely yes. And ultimately, will this be good for your long-term results? Answer is yes. Now that you know the ideal number of mutual funds, in the next section, we'll talk about which mutual funds could be a part of your portfolio. Now let's move on with the very important question, which mutual funds do I have in my portfolio, or which mutual funds could you have in your portfolio? Just in case if you're mistaken that I'm going to reveal the exact names, I'm going to talk about which category of mutual funds are there in my portfolio and which you may consider if you feel that that fits into your risk profile. Okay. First things first, you should have a Nifty 50 index mutual fund in your portfolio. This is the best one for beginners. Why? It's as good as you're betting on the top 50 companies of India. So comparatively, risk will be on the lower side. Okay. If you feel that no, I don't want an index fund, I don't want to go for passive funds, I want to go for an active fund, here an alternate could be going ahead with a blue chip fund, which is also called as a large cap fund. Okay, so again, essentially your exposure goes into large caps. So ideally what I feel is one could have an exposure to a Nifty 15 index fund or a large cap fund. Do I have it in my portfolio? Yes. The second category could be something like a flexi cap fund, or it could be something like a multi cap fund. Now, what is the good part of this is that you will get an exposure not only to large caps, you'll get an exposure to mid caps as well as small caps. So it's as good as one SIP, which gives you an exposure to large, mid, and small caps. Is there a minimum requirement? Answer is yes. If you're talking about a multi-cap fund, the fund manager is required to invest minimum 25% in large caps, minimum 25 in mid caps, and minimum 25% in small caps. And this ensures a very good allocation across different market caps, right? But if you're going ahead with a flexi cap, again here the fund manager decides how much should be the allocation in large, mid, and small caps, but an exposure will be given to every single category. Now, here what happens is that 65% of the allocation minimum has to be given to equities. So, your major exposure is in equities, a smaller chunk could go ahead with debt funds as well. Okay, do I have this category in my portfolio? Answer is yes. Okay, third category is something like a thematic fund or a sectoral fund. Ideally, who could choose this? A person who does track the market, who believes in a specific theme, could go ahead with it. So, for example, if I believe that banking and financial institutions could do well, I could choose a thematic fund or a sectoral fund which goes ahead with that theme. If some person feels, okay, defense is something which I believe in, that person could go ahead with a thematic fund which is like a defense fund, or like I mentioned, it could be something like banks, financial institutions, whatever. Again, same thing. Do I have this category in my portfolio? Answer is yes. The fourth category could be something like a balanced advantage fund, or it could be something like a multi asset allocation fund as well. Now, balanced advantage fund, now the best part here is that you have, I mean, typically fund managers will ensure that at least 65% exposure is given to equity. So, what happens here essentially, understand? See, because it's a balanced advantage, your money is going to get invested partially in equity, partially in debt. But if more than 65% is in equity, it will be taxed as an equity mutual fund. So you will get a good taxation in this case, right? So if the fund manager in a balanced advantage fund is also extremely practical and has a good experience, the fund manager will ideally have a bigger exposure in equity when the fund manager feels that the markets may start rising. And if the fund manager feels that, okay, markets have actually reached a top, from here some correction is possible, fund manager may think of switching from equity to debt. So you need not think about what should be your allocation from equity to debt, when should you switch, you should not. That headache is taken care by the fund manager. Okay, in this category only you could consider something like a multi asset allocation fund also. Either or you may choose. Multi asset allocation fund, good part is that 10% minimum goes to equity, 10% minimum to debt, and 10% minimum goes to commodities as well. So here again you get a nice diversification within a single mutual fund. Okay, so this is again one more category. Is there a similar category in my portfolio? Again, finally answer is yes. Moving ahead with the final category, this is about mutual funds which have a global exposure. You can think about global funds which invest either in US. So basically, these are Indian mutual funds, but the underlying is in US stocks, let us say. It could be Taiwanese stocks if you're thinking about semiconductors as a theme. It could be entire Asia, whatever. I mean, you have mutual funds which have a global exposure. The only problem here is that because currently India has hit the limit, we cannot initiate fresh SIPs or fresh lump sum in these category of mutual funds. So do I have this category in my portfolio? Yes, but of course fresh money is not flowing into this category. So I hope you have understood what categories could you consider. Are these the only categories? Answer is no. I have told you which category of mutual funds are there in my portfolio. If you feel that you also fall into a similar risk profile, then you may consider these types. If you feel some other type suits you, well, please go ahead and invest in that category as well. Two important do's, two important don'ts. Do's: always stay invested and trust compounding. Don't think about switching very frequently, okay? Trust the process of compounding. Second, ensure that you are investing via SIPs and try to increase the SIPs as well. I have talked about step up SIPs as well in on my YouTube channel as well as my courses. Unfortunately, I do see some videos on YouTube which say don't invest in SIPs, they'll not give you good returns. I totally don't believe in that. I believe that mutual fund investing is something wherein you give a one time effort primarily to choose mutual funds, and then you keep on investing every single month so that you invest in a very disciplined manner. That's why SIPs are a must. What are the two key don'ts? As I mentioned, one, stop frequently switching mutual funds. Just because your friend says A is better than B, don't switch right away. Let it compound. Just ensure that it is, growing year on year, and check the returns maybe after every single year or after 2 years or whatever. But don't frequently switch based on someone else's thought process. And the ultimate don't is that don't choose a mutual fund just based on the previous returns, be it last 1 year return, last 3 year return, last 5 year returns. There are so many more aspects that you should consider before you finalize a mutual fund. I hope you have found a lot of value in today's video. If you did, please don't forget to smash the like button. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.